What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Evo Build. I might be in over my head on this one. First of all, this is the weather that I'm dealing with, which I hate, and it's freezing in the garage. And I just opened up the door, which makes it colder, to show you guys the weather, so smooth. So, we're to the point now in this car where it's sort of just like the programming part of it. And I spent probably the last day or so, maybe 2 days, downloading Haltech's NSP software and trying to kind of learn the in and outs of what needs to be done to get a base map on this car. And maybe it takes more than like 8 hours to learn an entire programming software and how to tune a car. Who would have thought? I have a pretty good understanding of how all this stuff works. The thing that's kind of holding me up the most, I think, is the crank trigger and the timing aspect of all of the stuff that we changed when it came to adding the Kegley 12 -1 tooth crank trigger wheel and flipping the cam trigger wheel and cutting one of the sides off. That's sort of where I'm getting I might need a little bit of help. So I'm gonna shift gears in this episode and sort of give myself another week to get the tuning aspect to see if maybe next week we can get the car to start. But today, still doing something pretty exciting. I've had a pile of parts for this car for months now, and that pile of parts, as we've run through this build series, has dwindled down to just one part remaining that needs to be installed. Before we install that part, while the car's still in the air, I want to just rotate the tires so that we can get the car back on the ground, make it a little bit easier to work on for the remaining stuff that we have to do. And also still have to run that one wire from the ECU to the back of the car to trigger that second pump. So let's get those two things knocked out while we're in this cold garage, and then we can get to that last part we need to install. Car's back on the ground, which is awesome. This feels like a momentous thing to get the car back down on the ground. After you've been working on a car like higher up on jack stands for a little while, you put it back down on the ground and it feels like it's so low to like try and work on anything. Back inside now, because it's freezing in the garage. We do have to do some wiring, and I'm gonna do that at this table inside my nice warm house. We need to create just a single wire from the ECU connector back to the relay box for the second fuel pump. I have all the information that Ohm Racing sent to me when they made the wiring harness that lets me know what each pin that's already being used is being used for, so that I can pick which output I want to use to control the second fuel pump. And I'll just make note of that on this paper so that I can continue moving forward knowing what each one of those pins in the ECU connector is when we go to tune everything. I'm in here so that I can work with the wires and my little fingies aren't frozen. So what I'm gonna do when I create this wire is directly out of the ECU and create a short wire that has a connector on it. And then I'm going to create a connection point right out of the ECU that I can unplug. That way, if I ever need to pull the ECU out of the car or unplug anything or the harness, that I have a connection point right there at the ECU so that I don't have to go all the way back to the relay in order to detach that in some way. I hope that makes sense. I'm just gonna start wiring stuff. This is probably gonna be some type of time lapse. Let's do some wiring. So we've made this little wire. This is the pin for the ECU connector, and then this is the connector that will connect back to the wire that runs all the way to the back of the car. Okay, back out in the car. let's start breaking stuff. Now on the harness, I have this additional plug here, and that will plug into this, and then this wire will run all the way to the back of the car, which means if I ever need to take this harness out of the car, I can just unplug from here. I don't have to worry about running that wire all the way back. Well, that's done, and as you can see, it's very cold. Let's go do some more wiring where it's warm, and we'll open up that last part that we have. Okay, we're back inside. Oh no, what's this? Another Haltech box. This is the last piece of the puzzle. The very last part that I've had sitting in this room for months now. Let's see what's inside. This is a Haltech IC7 digital dashboard, and it's going to completely replace all of the gauges in the Evo. Now with this dash, we have the capability of taking all of those new sensors that we added, the fuel pressure, the oil pressure, the map sensor, and all of the factory outputs that you would usually get on a dash, like your RPM, your speed, your fuel gauge. Everything can be displayed right here on this dash. What that's going to allow us to do is display all the information right in front of us, all in one place, so that you don't have to look at 100 different gauges in different places on your dashboard. I always used to struggle when I had my boost gauge and my wideband gauge and everything where the factory radio used to be, concentrating on paying attention to the RPM and trying to pay attention to how much boost I was running or what the air-fuel ratio was doing towards the top of that RPM range, trying to pay attention to when I had to shift. All of that stuff going on at once. What this is going to do is allow me to have all of that information right in one spot, right in front of me. And it's completely programmable to make it look however you want. It has a shift light across the top. It's just going to be able to let you know everything that you need to know, which is super nice and in a very clean, easy to read package. I am super excited to get this thing in the car. Now, in order to mount this in the car, I do have this piece from, again, Ohm Racing, same people that made the wiring harness in the car, make this direct bolt-in fitment for the Evo. So you just bolt the dash to this to the car, and it looks nice and pretty, like it should be there from the factory. So the back of the dash has two different connectors. This top one here is for communicating with the laptop. Because this is on the back of the dash, which typically you can't really access once it's in the car, and you do want to be able to like plug in and unplug from the laptop when needed. It comes with this connector here that plugs into the back of the dash. And then on the other end of it is the connector that you would run to the laptop, and it has this like bulkhead fitting with this little nut that comes with it so that you can kind of like mount this where you need to in the car. I guess technically I could like drill a hole right here and then put this in through there. The other connector on the back is the main connector that will feed all the information to the dash, which is this guy here. All of the information that goes to the ECU will be able to be run directly through just these four wires. There are some things that don't go through the ECU that go directly to the dashboard. We will need to tap into one of the wires in the factory plug on the back of the dash in order to get the fuel level for the car. And the other things that we'll need to tap into are basically just lights that come up on the dash. So when you turn your blinker on, the little green arrow that flashes, when you turn your high beams on, that little blue light that comes on, and whenever you pull your parking brake, the little red light that lights up. All of those things also need to be pinned, which means we need to pin 5 wires into the back of this connector that plugs into the back of the dash, which is what we'll do now. Okay, so here is our connector that we added. So now this one will go to the ECU. I have the other end of this connector that'll plug into here, and then I'll run wires out of the back of this one to the factory dash. Then everything will be nice and neat and pretty. And easy to remove if I have to. Next, let's see if we can figure out a clean way to connect this communication port into this so that we can access it basically all the time. Perfect. And here is the finished product. We're back out here in the car. I got the dash wired up, ready to go in. I have my notes, where to wire everything up. I got all my connectors, and I have this tiny little space heater, which isn't doing anything. It's freezing in here. Let's get this old dash out, connect some wires, and get this new one put in. Buttons. How am I gonna know how many miles are on my car? Is that a thing? Is that a thing I gotta figure out? Mileage doesn't matter anymore.
But what about your personal property tax? That's gonna be affected by how many miles are on your car.
What remembers your mileage? Your ECU? The dashboard? You know what? We've come too far. Ow! Add undoing a connector when your fingers are freezing to my list of least favorite activities. Ow! Did it again! The end one and pink. Now that we got all those little connectors, you guys can't see anything. Now that I have all those little connectors attached to all those wires, I just gotta plug in the other end of this little plug here. This one gets run to the ECU, but for right now, I'm just gonna see if I can feed it down to my feet. Hey, my feet, boy! I told you it'd come right out of my feet. No free feet pics. I think that means that the dash is ready to be at the very least plugged in. If someone was watching this, they're gonna be like, dang, that kid knows what he's doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna turn the key on. The ECU isn't plugged in right now. Will I have power? Let's try it. I have no power. Oh! The battery's not hooked up. That would help so much. Round 3? Oh my god, everything's on. Well, I kind of want to see this thing turn on, so let's do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. So I'm gonna plug this in. I think maybe that should power it up. Let's find out together. Have I mentioned that I have no idea what I'm doing? Do something. Huh. Okay. I'll be right back. I don't know, guys. It feels like a pretty disappointing way to end the video, but I think that this might just require some more time that I don't have right now. It might just be simply plugging in the ECU to the laptop and just getting everything updated and making sure that the CAN cable is feeding power. We're gonna figure this out one way or the other. I have contacted who I think I've decided to tune the car. I'm waiting on a response from them. Maybe they can help walk me through this a little bit, or at least get me some type of base map so that I can start this car. Because right now, the next step is getting the car started so that I can check everything that we've done, make sure that there's no fuel leaks, make sure there's no coolant leaks, make sure everything's running good and that everything's solid, so that we can get this car ready to get on a dyno. See just what kind of power it makes. If you've made it this far in the video, let me know how much power you think this car will make once it gets on the dyno. I'm going to just try and push this setup as far as it can go, whatever this turbo is capable of doing. We'll see what that is. I think that the engine and the fuel system will be able to handle whatever kind of power we throw at it, at least with this turbo. Stick around for. Make sure you're subscribed, because this car is going to be making power soon, and then we're jumping right into the super build. Stick around. Sorry.